You belong among the wildflowers. You belong. Something. Ready for some praise and worships? You ready to get your worships on? You put the mote in my eye. You put the stone in my heart. You're my syrup, God, and I slowly drippy worship you. You're my syrup, God, and my private mental boyfriend. You belong among the wildflowers. You put the SSRIs in my Gucci purse. You're my God of syrup, and I worship you very slowly as you drip over the pancakes and the flapjacks too. You belong among the wildflowers. You like that? That's a little bit of a mashup, a smash up. Oh, don't say that word. That's a naughty word. He said the word smash. Ooh, naughty, naughty. I'm the worship leader. My name is Trevor and I'm not gay. I lead the men's masculinity group, wearing Gucci shirts and all the fashions from Italy. 'Cause I'm an evangelical pastor with $1,000 million pink sweater shirt.
And they're standing in a grave. But the angel says, go to Galilee. And they can't stay at the grave because he's not there. Somebody say, he's not here. He's not in this depression. He's not in this giving up. He's not in...
He got a pink sweater made out of Jan Crouch hair. Remember Jan Crouch? Y'all like that I put Jan Crouch in the thumbnail? That's a $3,000 Versace sweater made out of pink cotton candy Jan Crouch hair woven together for my preacher bros.
In this failure, he's not in it. He's in it to help me, but he's not in it to leave me. He's calling me forward to Galilee. So what they do? They're afraid. Did you notice verse 8? But they ran. They used their fear.
Dude, look at that dude. This dude went straight from like the failed first round of the octagon to being a preacher. So he just picked up a new grift. This is Professor Grift right here. What's up, Professor Grift? Tell me them preachings. Tell me them sermons. Give me that words of wisdom from outside the octagon that you have failed in. Dude looks like a Mexican gnome right here. Dude looks like a neck. We're about to go to Gnome Hyperborea. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? You know what time it is. Gnome Hyperborea.
Close your eyes. Maybe one day you'll understand why everything you touch surely dies. But you only need the light when it's burning low. Only need the sun when it starts to snow. Only know the love when you let it go.
Don't worry, we'll return to Gnome Hyperborea on my Spurgatrons. We had to take a bit of an interlude, though, because this is so rough that we got, somebody said dime store Drake. I like that. I like that. Yeah, this dude is Hispanic Hyperborea, right? If you go to Mexican Hyperborea, it's Hyperborea. All the gnomes sleep inside burrito pitas over in Mexican Hyperborea. Hey, bro, welcome to Hyperborea. What could I get you? More chips? Do you like more salsa? Something to drink? Do one sweet tea?
For something productive. I know you've been through some things. Use them. I know you got something on the inside of you chasing you. Well,
dude, that sweater is gross. That's awful. So he is people already. How do y'all know these people? Like, I start talking about something, and half of the chat knows all the details of all of these random ass people. Oh yes, he used to be a weightlifter in the strongman competitions in 2008 before he transitioned to becoming a pastor. Like, how do you know this dude? Who in the hell is this person?
point it in the right direction and let's go.
That's Gnome Hyperborea.
You've been an addict, help an addict.
I've been up in that attic, like that one slow boy up in the attic. Remember him? What's that movie with that slow boy locked up in the attic, playing with mice and shit, and then he becomes smart? Is that what I'm talking about? Flowers for Algernon. Flowers for the algorithm. Was that was a smart boy locked in the attic, wasn't it? That's mean. Get him out of there. No slow boys deserve to be locked in a damn attic. When all they got nothing to play with but freaking mice. That's rude.
You've been through horrible abuse. Put your arm around somebody. They need to hear that God can do a miracle for them.
Oh.
I'm leaving this grave. Everybody in here's got a grave God is calling you away from. Everybody in here's got a place in you, a place in life, a place you can't stay, and a long way to go. Oh, it's a long way to Galilee. I don't know if we can make it 80 miles to Galilee to see Jesus.
People like this are ruining beards. I mean, people are always like, grow your beard out, grow your beard out. Every time I thought about ever growing a beard out, I only think of dudes like this, which are insufferable. And then all of these other people in media that have their beards to try to be masculine. So I know the orthodox beard position. Well aware of it, but I mean, they're ruining everything. You can't wear hats anymore. Hats are ruined by every horrible soy man has destroyed every hat. Boomers and Gen X destroyed baseball hats. Atheists with their euphoria in 2007 destroyed fedoras. Not that I would wear a freaking fedora because I was pretty much always gay. Unless you're a 1930s mobster, you have no right to wear a fedora. That's the only person that gets a pass. Like Al Capone gets a pass for a fedora. No one else. You look ridiculous. You look like you're, I don't even know. I don't even know. But what is, and everybody's making beard oil jokes. I think that is appropriate to make beard oil jokes now because the funny thing is that you think, oh, a beard is masculine, and inherently it kind of is. But all of these dudes obsess over their foppish, dandy, feminine products for their beard. Are you a Dapper Dan man? Or are you a fop man? I'm a foppish dandy.
I don't know if I can make it through this season. I don't know if I can do it at this stage of my life. I don't know if I have the fuel left to do it again. I don't know if I have a repeat performance in me. The first time we followed him, it was hard, but then he died. I don't know if I have a second wind. He
looks like that. What's up with this ant sweater? He looks like somebody's aunt showed up to your 8th birthday party. Your aunt shows up at your 8th birthday party wearing this gigantic sweater. And what's the joke, Jamie? Jamie sent me this saying you got to watch this. Is it because it's a Versace sweater that's like $1,000 or what? $2,000. So people looked up this Grift Church, Saint Grift. The Church of Saint Grift over here at the strip mall.
Me, but they're running. And this whole Sunday hinges on word. In Matthew 28, verse 9, that God brought you to this moment to show you as they are leaving the grave and eventually going to Galilee. The Bible says, Matthew 28, verse 9, suddenly.
What?
Because not only do I have a space-making Savior,
Woo!
but I have
Except space is faking gay. Nobody told this dude. Update. Space is faking gay. Look right there. He looks like Jermaine from Flight of the Conchords. It's business. It's business church. Business church. That's what I'm talking about. That's today's topic, y'all. We're talking about all the nonsense. Again, I did a stream on this like 4 years ago that got good viewage. And then we did another one that got good views, like 50,000, 90,000 views. So it's time to hit up business church. And so, yes, I know we're going to have to talk about something that I care absolutely nothing about. Nala and KNOWLES, because the entire internet has talked about it all week. We're going to talk about wisdom. We're going to talk about how the Bible is rated R and gets into thoughts all the time. In fact, there's a thought that gets chopped up and sent out. And that story is never the subject of praise and worship. It ought to be. I'm going to do a Judges story about this whole God chopped up for your glory and sent to all the tribes. We love you, God of Israel, for chopping up the hose and sending out a message to the tribes of Israel. Jamie's laughing in there. How come you don't see praise and worship bands songs about that? What do you mean? What do you mean it's terrible?
I mean, it's funny, but
I'm thinking I'm making a legit point. What are you laughing at? She's in there saying it's terrible points. No, this is a perfect point. Women's ministries. Converting to churches where there's a co-pastor husband and wife team. Scam. Hello. Scam on line 1. I've got a bridge to sell you in New Mexico over the ocean. Oh wait, what's that country song? Oceanfront property in Arizona. I got some oceanfront property in Arizona. Matt de la Monkey. Yeah, I know, y'all. I know what you got in your head. I know. We're going to talk about Pearl's take on Nalala and KNOWLES. Nalala KNOWLES. We're going to talk about evangelicals and goofy mistakes over words and word associations that they can't figure out. We're going to talk about Pharisees on Twitter, praying on Twitter. We're going to talk about that churches are actually full of betas and simps. We're going to talk about Kanye because evangelical conversions typically are short-lived. So I'm noticing a pattern. We're going to talk about how this is even lampooned if you watch Righteous Gemstones and, mimicking like Jimmy Swagger and Paul and Jan Crouch. Paul and Jan Crouch with her, what's that hair? Cotton candy hair, remember her? We're going to talk about that basically nobody has any discernment. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. Nobody has wisdom or discernment. I put up a tweet with minor nuance, and it went viral. I don't know, 50,000 views on it. And half of the people couldn't figure out what my point was. So, I mean, we're just like... I mean, it's not surprising that we got clown church. I mean, the dude looks just like Jermaine right there, doesn't he? Brit, Jermaine, Brit.
suddenly Savior. Shout suddenly. Come on, shout it with your lungs,
So you haven't figured it out, and a lot of people are dumb and can't figure this stuff out. All of this is basic psychology and manipulation. Watch the documentary Marjo. We talked about that many, many times. Go watch Marjo. And this is a curly-haired evangelical dude like this from the 70s. And Marjo talks about how in these big revivals, theatrical performances that he would do, he would make like, I don't know, $10,000, $20,000 a night in these big auditoriums or whatever. And then he eventually came out as a scammer. And he talks about all the tricks and the techniques and the tactics. And if you have grown up in evangelical churches or seen this stuff over the years, then you probably know this world, or you're hip to this, and you've kind of figured this out at some point. And I think that these things are promoted, they're allowed for various reasons. They're also atheism factories, as we pointed out. And there were studies done some years ago that the holdover rate for these giant megachurches is very low. So basically, they all the converts leave these giant megachurches within like 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 2 months, something like that. Which is not surprising, because the motivation for converting is typically a type of manipulation, right? So the emotional manipulation going on via the preacher and the guilt and all that, which you might actually feel guilt. You might have done something bad. But that doesn't mean that the preacher's motivations are good, or that this is a legitimate church. This is a parachurch, we would say. And so today's point I want to stress is to remind everyone of this and talk about how it's not wrong to make judgment calls. A lot of idiots are basically thinking that and assuming that you can never make a judgment call because that's judging someone. How dumb is this? How low IQ is this? As if judge not lest you be judged means you can never make a judgment call. Okay, this is how silly and idiotic some of the evangelicals are. Or that, like, you couldn't be a judge. Like if you got elected to be a judge. Okay, there's a whole book called Judges. Hello? The book of Proverbs. Giant chapters on hoes. Oh, he said the H word. Oh, he's cussing. Oh. I mean, imagine how any of these people who are so slimy and ridiculous as to act like saying something is wrong or making a judgment call is judging. Imagine like these people be the first to cave when a Muslim shows up, right? What are you laughing at? You're giggling and they're like crazy. What's going on? Are the Muslims in there tickling you? The Muslim terrorists have got Jamie, and they're doing a tickle fight where they're tickling her to death. Jamie! Jamie! Can you make me a coffee? She's giggling like crazy. I don't know what at. Abdul is in there tickling her. You will be tickled for a lot. You will be tickled to death. 1 = 3 tickle. You no drink George Dickle. You get tickled. I think she's laughing at these preachers because she's pulling up preacher clips. And these preachers are off the hook. These preachers are insane, bro. Thank you. What are you giggling at so hard? The Muslims tickling you? Get a Muslim terror tickle? A Muslim, a ticklist. A radical Islamic ticklist. That's that 5-finger jihad right there. Wouldn't that be a better world? Wouldn't that be a better world if Islam fought back with tickling instead of C4s or whatevers? You belong among the gay evangelicals. You belong at Pastor Mexican Gnome's church. What? Did he just howl? What? Oh, dude. Christofascism, bro. Christofascism, bro.
Man. Oh, you mean they didn't have to go all 80 miles?
Because they had a pimped out Bugatti that they got from Name It, Claim It, bro. Name it, claim it, blab it, grab it. True, word. Oh, anyway. I don't even know what was going on. Like, what are they actually fussing at? Stephen Furtick. Stephen Furtick. Easter sermon, a train wreck of narcigesis. That's a cool term. These people don't serve Jesus. They serve narcigesis. Exactly. If you want to know how somebody can make the resurrection story about you, the grave represents your depression and failure, and Galilee is that better life, baby. That's that Bugatti. That sounded too much like Theo Vaughn. That's that Bugatti. Like Theo Vaughn, I didn't mean to. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so, look, it's more fun when I don't know what the clips are when they're coming in. So, most of today's clips I've not seen all of. And that makes it more fun because I can just kind of, yo, that experience is raw. Just raw. Right? Like Everlast or Donnie Wahlberg saying raw in the 1990s out of Boston. Because I was just up there with them Boston boys. Roar. This shit's raw right here. Raw Boston. I'll take that over Boston retarded. Right? I'll take that. I'll take Donnie Wahlberg. I don't even know where Everlast is from. I get all them dudes mixed up. Everlast seems like a Wahlberg, even though he's not. Right? Jump up, and get down. Jump around. Isn't he? Was there some sort of white Irish rap scene in the 90s that was Donnie Wahlberg and Mark Wahlberg and Everlast, House of Pain? Remember that? Remember that? Yo, I was in that 1993 Boston rap scene. Boy. Yo, I was a Christian rapper in the 1993 Boston rap scene, boy. My name was Eisegesis in that 1993 Boston rap scene, boy. A white Christian rapper, Irish descent, boy. There was that, though. Was House of Pain from that? By the way, if you're new to this, we go on rabbit trails. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. House of Pain, boy. Remember House of Pain? Were they from Boston? See, I just went to somewhere I've never been. And I don't even know, but, I mean, if there's, like, clover leaves and shit and, like, Celtics jerseys, I'm assuming that's Boston, isn't it? Where was these white black boys from? I gotta know. Where they from, boy? He was a member of La Coca Nostra. What? The reference of there comes from H.G. Wells? Shit's getting deep now, dude. I was over here making fun of House of Pain and Everlast, and they knew about H.G. Wells when I was watching Marky Mark videos on BET in 1993. What? That's weird. But where are they from? I don't know. I mean, they just seem like Boston. Let's just say that they're Boston. I don't even know if they're Bostonian, but let's just say that they are because they seem like it. I'm sure there's 27 nerds in the chat that know with 98% certitude what city Everlast was actually born. He was actually born outside of Boston in the Providence area. People, they still like ska. Remember the Christian ska bands of the 90s? Oh. Five Iron Frenzy. I just remembered that. By the way, no, I did not like Christian ska. Okay, when I was raised evangelical. But I remember Five Iron Frenzy. Remember that? By the way, we're going to get back to... This is actually relevant, though, to talk about the horrible evangelical ripoffs of all the pop music, which we have talked about, and everybody's talked about that. I know that's nothing new here, but it does bear repeating because it is adjacent to the mega church grift sphere. And I'm sick of people saying grift because that's an overused word, I know. We're just going to call it con men, just cons, okay? Con Inc., etc. Basically, like giant mega church evangelicalism is Con Inc. adjacent. A lot of octopus appendage overlaps for sure there. Five Iron Frenzy. Remember this stuff? Does this stuff still exist? Dude, look at this 90s shit right here. Cool Christians! Yeah! Anyway, I can't play it because like 2 seconds of music will ding the algorithm. Anyway, you get the point, right? By the way, if you want to support the stream, you can do so via the super chat functions. We're going to be getting into some more. We're having fun. We always have fun on these streams. We're going to get a little more serious, a little more heady in a minute. But you know, I go with my feelings. I trust my heart, 'cause I follow you. You're my heart and you're my true God. Even though I call you Jesus, you're actually just my mind.
'Cause you are a shield around me.
The shoes are a shield around me? That's a chick with a shoe fetish. She's all into shoes. My shoes are a shield around me. That's what it sounded like. My $23,000 Prada shoes are a shield around me. Look at this nonsense. What the heck is this?
'Cause you are a shield around me. Create
Wow.
room for me to breathe. You're not ashamed of me.
She's pounding sand, dude. And why is she fly? She's a woman spreading with those very baggy pants on. Do you see her woman spreading? She doing the stomp. She doing the stanky stomp. Do the stanky stomp. Or do the stanky stomp. For Jesus. Get it, girl. And everybody wonders, why? How come men don't want to go to church? Why come men ain't wanting to go to church? How come men don't want to go to church? I can't get my man to go to church with me to worship vaginas all day, flying at me from the podium. You're not ashamed of me, so settling. You are a shield around me. Bet you $1 million that chick's cheating on her boyfriend. with that bassist back there, with that big old black bassist dude. That big old black bass dude in the back, like, yeah, that's right. That's what I like right there. Do that move again. Yeah, I told you to praise and worship while you cheat with me, baby. Ugh. Yeah, so this is what you get at evangelical churches, and again, this is an atheism factory, and that has to be why it's allowed. And by the way, few know, I should just do a podcast called Few Know, because we have real factoids that actually matter that few know. Few know that many mega churches are also money laundering schemes. They're not just cons for weirdos with giant hair, creeps like Paul and Janet Crouch. They're also tied into sometimes, espionage operations, weapons trafficking, intelligence operations, and money laundering. And if you're familiar with the history of giant evangelical megachurches, then you know that there have been many cases, many stories. Dan, the bassist, his name ain't Dan. That's Dan Andre. Dan Andre, the bassist. Yeah, that's my girl right there. I'm about to take her from that weak white dude over there. Look at that. They got a thank you.
Remember Gwen Shamblin, the weight loss
Yes.
church?
Gwen Shamblin's weight loss church. We did a whole podcast on that. That was fun. Look at that. Non-binary worship in the back. Nice. Maybe this thing, like, she's not actually praise and worshiping. She just has she's just having a spasm or something. It's not even, she just spazzing. Remember in the 90s before Spurg, they call people spaz. This guy's a spaz. If you watch that movie where they did Dahmer, it's a good movie. And they called Dahmer the spaz the whole time. That was his name. They made fun of him as in high school. Like, all the bullies were like, "You fucking spaz." And I forgot, by the way, that Nick and Sam and MDE did a skit. I forgot the bully skit, so I was sitting there talking to them and just conversation, and we were talking about bullies, and I was like, bullies serve a service, man. They protect the world from allowing people like Gil Bates to run shit and destroy everything. And I forgot that was the whole point of that bully skit. So somehow now we got to bring back the jocks, dude. This was the whole point of the 80s movies. Actually, the 80s movies are kind of subversive, though, because the nerds won, like Revenge of the Nerds. No, see, we should have been on Team Jock the whole time. That's the point of Nick's bully skit. Anyway, this is how praise and worship ought to be right here. We need to go to some New York access, New York City public access for praise and worship. This is how it ought to be right here. See, I don't even know if this is something quasi-dirty with Slick Rick here and Yo Wine Ant, because it could go either way, right? Like, the praise and worship garbage literally sounds kind of like some almost erotic stuff, right? She's like, he likes the big girls. And that could easily be the evangelical mindset for, God loves me as a big girl. God wants me to stay a big girl. God is my projection of myself into my head. That's what I worship. I worship myself as God, but I call it God. It's my idea of myself blown up into a projection on the wall that I worship.
He loves a full girl, and he wants himself a slice.
Yes, he loves a full girl, and he wants him a slice. You belong among the wildflowers. You belong. I don't even know what the next line is. That's very petty of me.
He loves a plus girl.
Yes.
'Cause she's cool.
'Cause she's not division. He loves a plus girl. 'Cause it's more than before the plus sign. You belong among the plus girls. You belong not amongst the divided.
Big fun. He loves a large girl.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
This is what was going on in the mind of that black dude playing the bass in the background of the previous video.
Dreaming about her bun.
Woo! It's getting hot. That was Slick Rick in the back too. It's getting hot in here. So put on all your sweaters. You belong. By the way, if you want to support the stream, you can do so via Super Chats. Super Chats occur through Streamlabs. And the link is there by our lovely mods profiles there, and as well as next to my beautiful mug as well. Use that link to hop on over and leave me a super chat if you want to support the stream. I will read the super chats out periodically. We have Big Boss sends $20. Big Boss Rick Ross. I ran out of silly things to say to you in super chats. Well, do you want me to make something up? Or do you want me to just... I'll just read it. So I guess I will just ask you, do you know about Up Dog? What's Up Dog? Joseph's wife, $5. Please wish my husband, Joseph, happy birthday in a Nick Cage voice. I feel like I'm your dancing monkey. You pay me $5. I have to do it. I'd like to wish Joseph a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Joseph. Did you hear that the red heifer's about to be sacrificed in Israel? It's the sign of the end, blood moon. How's that? That was a little over the top. That was not my best, Nick, but that's okay. So, we're having fun. Look, do y'all not remember, by the way, that I'd love to just do streams watching this stuff. Like, just these 80s clips of stuff. We're not going to watch this nonsense.
They don't trust the worship.
Don't want to see him. I thought I was getting praise and worship stuff when I clicked on this. I sure as heck don't want to see that.
This is 8 worship songs in under
That goblin's face. You belong among the wildflowers. Is this here's that chick again. Let's see what she's up to.
10 worship songs in under 1 minute, part 2.
So wait a minute. If all of the worship songs are all the same, isn't this kind of like, isn't this dissing praise and worship? But I mean, all hail King Jesus. I'm an evangelical who doesn't believe in the social kingship doctrine at all. All hail King Jesus. I believe in separation of church and state like Roger Williams. I want the atheist to have dominance over me and to have control of the secular order. You belong among the wild. Jesus paid it all so the women could run the churches and cuck all the men. More like cuck is king. I'm not trying to be blasphemous, but that's the hard reality a lot of y'all are not ready for. Right? Because Jesus is just our boyfriend. That's what I'm saying. Is that a giant poster of herself in the back? She has a giant poster, like a Star Wars poster of herself. So, what does that tell you? Right? Look, I mean, if you're going to go all out and have rock and roll church, you actually would be better off at the black church. Because the black church at least does some fun, entertaining music. I mean, this white evangelical stuff is the worst stuff of all time. It's not, the music is the worst. I mean, at least I'm gonna get some fun beats over here. Oh! It's like, why are you gay? Do not be gay. Why are you gay? Meanwhile, the white evangelical worship's like, I want to be gay, but straight too. I want to be gay worship leader. And the black, straight up from Africa praise and worship is actually based. Don't be gay. Why are you gay? You need to not be gay. Don't be gay. Why are you gay? It's gross and don't be gay. That's the base message. You belong among the straight flower. You belong not amongst the gay evangelical. Hey! That's what I'm talking about.
This is what.
All right, so I'm not going to get any more P&W. I only listen to P&W. I only listen to P&W. You'll never see a music snob. Imagine like a hipster music snob from like 2008, because hipsters only exist as the checkout dudes at record stores nowadays. Hipsters are dead. They're gone, but they do still exist only as the dude at the record store. Imagine a hipster dude. Because they're always the worst, most pretentious music snobs ever. And but imagine one that's obsessed with all of the just praise and worship bands. He's totally degenerate, but he just loves praise and worship bands. I really feel like Hillsong hit their peak at about the 2007 era when they were singing about Jesus directly and not so much of the Trinitarian song sequences that you actually see in the post-Chris Pratt era of 2012. Once Bieber got involved, I feel like Hillsong really lost. I'm an aficionado on. I have also every Hillsong album, LP. You'll never see a music snob like that. Would actually be a funny. I don't know. That might work as a skit. I don't know. There might be something there. I want to do a music snob skit though. That's I got my blue book of skit ideas, and it's getting packed up because there's so much infinite garbage spread before me every day that it's hard to pick. All right, I'm not watching this whole thing. Is there some kind of clip? Can we watch clips of this? Ain't no way I'm watching 2.5 hours of him interviewing this chick. I mean, imagine the people who sat through this whole thing. 500,000 people watched this. How long you think the attention span was on this? 5 minutes? Let's see. I don't know why. I thought I pulled up a clip thing. I didn't mean to pull up. Ain't no way I'm watching this whole thing. You belong among Nala's hair dye. Nala knows. Let's see some clips. All right, let's see Pearl's clip. What's she saying?
It wasn't as dramatic as the one when I started only. But I was not like, I was speaking to my dad, but we weren't like good. And my mom and I just like barely ever spoke. So her and I have never really had a good relationship, although I do hope that changes. We still don't have a good relationship, and I'm not quite sure why. But, you know, in my mind, I expected this change to be like the prodigal son returning, you know? Yeah. In my mind, I was like, I hope.
Okay, is she the prodigal son?
Now, I do want to briefly talk about prodigal son stuff because this does get overused. And the big thing that everyone misses is that it's not really evident that it's a real prodigal son scenario until that person demonstrates that there has been a change. I don't know anything about this chick. I've never heard about her until maybe a month ago. So I don't know if she changed. I don't even care about any of this kind of stuff really. But it is relevant because everyone's talking about it. It's a perfect segue into talking about clown church, circus church, business church. It's business church. Because the immediate red flags are not so much has she turned off her OF or whatever. I mean, obviously, I don't know. I didn't look at the dates and investigate or whatever. Pearl allegedly, right, that she didn't totally turn it off or something before or after the baptism. I don't know about any of that, but the first red flag I heard was she converted to a church where there's a husband-wife co-pastor team. Red flag immediately, right? So I'm not hearing many people bring this up. Now, to be fair, it is true that many of us in our early days, we didn't know anything, right? Maybe we flipped on TV preachers and we heard them say something and we thought a TV preacher was good, only a year later to find out that he was eating children in his basement or something. I don't know, right? So that's possible. We were all dumb at some point, goobers. And part of the reason we make fun of the goobers is to wise people up so that they don't be goobers. But that's an immediate red flag. Okay. And again, it is possible that a person can have, from their inner perspective, a sincere desire and unfortunately end up in some weirdo kooky church. Sure. That happens all the time because there's a million, thousand, zillion dumb Christian sects and heterodox parachurch idiocy cults out there everywhere. It's just infinite. So it doesn't mean that that person's bad. They might have good motives. However, the problem is that the entities that they're joining, if they are a con scam, con inc type of thing, strip mall nonsense, right? Then after a while, they're going to start saying, I just came out of a big, I hate to use the word, grift scene. Y'all are doing the same thing I was doing, but you're doing it with God. So God just becomes a new grift for a Tony Robbins style self-help thing. And it's nothing to do with anything authentic about the Bible, theology, blah, 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 right? It's that simple. So I don't know anything about whether she's serious or not, or the dates on her, whatever. And here's the thing, like, everybody's talking about this, and it's not, like, time will tell. That's all you got to know. Time will tell. And not everybody really has this Damascus Road experience, right? And sometimes that happens. There can be Paul and the Damascus Road conversions, but most of the time it's a gradual thing. So it's odd that it goes from the full-on OF experience of $9 million a year to now I'm converting. Oh, but I'm also setting up my ministry. Did we not just do a stream a few weeks ago or a couple months ago about the guru grift, going from New Age life coaching? Remember this? Life coaches. I'm a life coach. And then suddenly, I converted, but now I'm a religious life coach. Now, let's say best case scenario that there's still good intentions and it's not a new persona. Now, remember, a lot of these people in this sphere of what do you want? I don't even know what you call this sphere. Like where you dress up, not furries, but like cosplay. That's the word I'm looking for. A lot of the people in that sphere are very into characters and personas. And it does occur at times that people have odd kink, where they like to fantasize about just the weirdest thing you can think of, right? Everybody knows this, that whatever weird thing you think of, there's some kind of prawn version on the internet. But I'm going to say that a weird sort of trad wife thing. And I'm not even saying that I'm not saying you're bad if you want to be a trad wife, but I'm saying that it's all weird. Like everything is weird. Everybody's playing characters now. Everybody's like adopting personas, and you just can't, there's no way to immediately know if it's authentic. So we just have to, I think, be agnostic. I don't know, but we pay attention to the red flags based on previous experiences, wisdom, and pattern recognition. We're all involved in pattern recognition in varying degrees. And we're all concerned about, wait a minute, there seems to be, again, a high turnover rate in the evangelical sphere, which is not necessarily saying that everybody's bad, but that there are a lot of con men and in the ministries of evangelical dumb. That's what I'm saying. And they're preying on sincere people. That's the sad part. So you've got naive, kind of sincere people in the crowd who buy into evangelical megachurch stuff, probably being sincere to some degree. But then we start noticing that the type of Christianity, the type of religion presented is a facsimile. It's a synthetic Christianity where you can basically tailor it to however you want. Somebody in the chat said Burger King Christianity my way. Exactly. Oh, I'm going to be a girl pastor. I'm going to be a pastor bitch. I'm a pastor bitch. I'm a slave queen for God. I'm a slave queen for God. Come to my church. By the way, pay me reparations. Right? I mean, I was over here. I don't know what this is. Not Gnome Hyperborea. Where's it at? No, come on. This popped up. I don't know what this is, but again, like, props to this brother for just being straight up, right? I mean, you can tell this brother with his operation. He's just straight up like, hey, I'm here to make some cash, bro. And for all I know, this could be a black church, right? Remember Pastor Manning? I mean, this could be Pastor Manning's church, right? Obama and Larry Sinclair had a love affair. Remember that? I mean, at least you got to respect the game when you sit on a giant gold throne on your podcast, which could also be your church, dog. I don't even know what this is, but it looks awesome.
Like you have OnlyFans.
So they're talking about what we talking about. Right? Should you risk your OF, but risk your job because of your OF? Right here, I'm going to go to this dude's church.
So what type of job you feel should be a risk if you got it?
If you're around, like, kids and, like, if you have OnlyFans.
By the way, this clip is all the way up. It's super low. It's not me.
And there's children around. Because parents, especially them moms,
kids
soccer
should be
moms.
In kids' place.
What you say, Razor?
Kids should be in kids' place.
So kids shouldn't be on OnlyFans.
Not at all.
For teachers.
Not at all.
Okay.
If you are a teacher and you have OnlyFans, you should think about it.
Kids should be in the book.
Wisdom right there, right? So, like the Any Teen Goes podcast, I respect that over before I respect. Let's get back to this.
The prodigal son was broke, lost everything, and came home. She has $9 million and went to social media. Christians, why are you this stupid? God,
Now, in regard to the majority of churchianity, I think this is correct. I don't agree with everything. By the way, I do have a good Pearl impression. Whoa, guys! That's my Pearl. But she's right here because she's pointing out that the domain of evangelicaldom is peopled with people that have no knowledge of history, no knowledge about theology, the church, what any of this means. It's a giant business. That's why we called it 6 years ago business church. It's business church. And when you figure that out, you either go atheist or you look for some other authentic historic version of Christianity, so-called. And this leads people typically to going into Orthodoxy or Catholicism. But she is correct here that to always appeal to, you can't judge me, you can't judge me, and the prodigal son, that is not the meaning of the prodigal son. It is not that you can never judge a person. For example, in the Orthodox world, you, if you want to convert, there is a period of time. It's not like Billy Graham's thing where he invites you down the altar and gives you hot slices of cheese pizza. Oh, come down the altar, we've got hot cheese pizza. I'll give you a slice of pizza and some Coca-Cola if you pray the Jesus prayer with me. No, it's not like that. You don't become a Baptist overnight and everything's cool, right? Because you said a sinner's prayer. No, there's a period to see if after 6 months, a year, or 3 years, or 2 years, that's actually the life that you want to live and the path you want to take, because there's requirements. That's the thing. But this kind of Christianity basically has no requirements except whatever you performatively display to the public. That's it. It's that simple. Does that make sense? And don't you see that there's a reason why there's a barrier to these kinds of things? Why is this? Because what Protestantism, whether intentionally or inadvertently, what Protestantism lost is this idea of boundaries, this idea of the holy and the profane. So we say, for example, the holy things are for the holy. That means that you have to be in a pure state, confession, etc., before you take the Eucharist, before you attend the Lord's Supper. However, outside of Protestantism, which lost this notion of dividing the holy things from the unholy, there's no holy objects, there's no holy water, there's no holy images. There's just a holy book, which is a propositional sort of rationalist faith of just worshiping a book. And so what happens there is that the boundaries are all broken down, and the inherent revolutionary spirit of Protestantism and evangelicalism as the most recent manifestation of that revolution just continues the revolution by breaking down all the boundaries. Now the churches are pro-Skittles, becoming more and more non-binary. The churches are also noting that women should be pastors, deacons, priests, bishops, or just set up a woman's ministry. I mean, this is just foolishness. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. It's almost like nobody in the world has read Proverbs. And perhaps just because of evangelical weirdness, I don't know. They don't read the Old Testament or something because they tend not, because they think, oh, that's for the Jews, that's Old Testament. I mean, this is basic practical wisdom in the book of Proverbs, okay? If I recall, Proverbs was intended to be a kind of a catechism for young men. It's Solomonic wisdom. I don't mean that in some stupid esoteric sense. I just mean it in the basic sense of he was a king who had it all. Okay, he had his share of OF thoughts and wrote a bunch of proverbs and wisdom on the basis of figuring out pleasure didn't solve all of my heart's desires. Like there was still an unfulfilled aspect of my being. It wasn't fulfilled with wine, women, and song. So let me explain to young men the dangers, the traps, the reality that's out there. And the irony is that many in the religious world, whether Protestant, evangelical, Roman Catholic, and even Orthodox, they're so super pious and self-righteous, they probably wouldn't even read sections of Proverbs that are actually intended to warn men about devious thoughts. Isn't that interesting? They're holier than their own book. How dumb is that? The crafty harlot. Oh, don't say that word. Don't say the word harlot. Oh, it's an impure word. You're using cuss words. For at the window of your house, I looked out the lattice, and I saw some OnlyFans chicks. I saw the simple, the youths. I perceived a man devoid of understanding passing along the street near the corner. He took the path to her house. You could find him in the club. In the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night, there was a woman who met him, who wore the attire of a harlot. Why are you judging people? Why are you judging? You can't judge me. You can't judge. Why are you judging me? Why are you judging me, Proverbs? Proverbs is judging me right now. I feel judged. She was loud, rebellious, skanky, some might say. Her feet would not stay at home. She's taken too many D's. What? How dare you say that? Oh. And then it goes on to describe the escapades. And it's rated R, at least. And this is the reality of the world. And so I think many evangelicals and super self-righteous, pious, disgusting online people, and I said this today and I stand by it, the worst people are not the skanks, the deviants, the leftists. The worst people are the ones, according to Jesus, who post their prayers publicly so that they can be seen. There was some boomer today calling me out. Oh, you're so bad. Oh, you debate people. That's so bad. And then he's over here posting his daily updates of how many prayers he had said that day. The very thing that Jesus says is like the height of wickedness. That's what the Pharisees did. The Pharisees love to be on the street corner. They want everyone to see them praying. I'm going to post my prayers upon Twitter, and I want everyone to update and see how many times I'm praying for them. And when they say something or do something I don't like, I will tell them I'm praying for you, even though that secretly means F you, because I don't care one whit for you. But it allows me to show everyone with a display of piety that I'm praying for you. Oh, look at my prayer ropes. Oh, look at my Orthodox prayer ropes. I have 55 of them. They're all hanging down from all of my arms. I wish I had more arms so I could hold more prayer ropes. I've got prayer ropes hanging from my toes. I'm so pious, so Orthodox. Oh, my beard is longer than you. It's disgusting. That's worse than the degenerates. And that blows people's mind. People can't believe that that's worse than the degenerates. Why is it worse? Surely you're incorrect, Jay. Wouldn't it be better to publicly pray all the time and tell everybody on Twitter how much you pray? I mean, I don't loathe a whole lot, but I loathe this. This I cannot stand. And it's the reason I loathe it so much is because the people that really dislike me and always call me out, it never fails that when I go and look at their timeline, they're the people who are publicly posting how much they pray. It never fails. So there's something in this psyche, there's something going on with these weirdo people. And I wanted to talk about judging too. Let's go to this. Because this is like the most overused, out of context nonsense. Judge not that you be not judged. Why don't you remove the mote from your own eye before you start throwing stones at Nala, dude? You got a damn mote in your eye. Let's go back. That makes me want to sing praise and worship about motes in my eye. You put the mote in my eye. You put the stone in my heart. Right? Oh, never mind. I turned it off. But here's the thing. Wait a minute. Does this verse actually mean that you can never make a judgment call? Didn't we just see Solomon in Proverbs say to avoid hoes? Well, wait a minute. How can I avoid a hoe if I can't make a judgment call? So you understand the difference between making a judgment call and judging someone from a position of feigned superiority. That's actually what the piety signaler people are doing. They're the Pharisees. Well, I'm so glad and I thank God that I'm not like this debate bro over here. Come look at my Twitter feed. Did you not see the 750 posts of prayers that I did publicly on Twitter? You see? I thank God that I'm not like this debate bro over here. I'm so much more pious. I fast 25 times a week. And the Orthodox are the really worst about falling into the Pharisee stuff about the fasting. Seriously. It's like the easiest thing to go to, and I don't have a problem criticizing the Orthodox domain, because in Jesus's statements, who gets the harshest judgments? People who are Pharisaical. And what is a Pharisee? This is another thing that people misuse. They think a Pharisee is somebody who takes the religion seriously. No. That's not what a Pharisee is. Yes, I said the word hoe. Did you notice that in Proverbs it says harlot? That's the equivalent of hoe. So you people need to get over your feigned sensitivities of words. Did you know that there's literally basically no difference between the word whore and harlot? They're equivalent. But you've invented a standard of these words are the bad words. Okay, where did you get the idea there's a bad word? Are you a Manichaean? Did the devil create those words? There's literally no difference in the word poop and shit. Did you think that one word is inherently evil somehow? That it casts a spell upon you? Are you superstitious? There's no difference between the words. So, well, wait a minute, Jay. Are you saying that we should run into the church and immediately list every cuss word out loud? Scream it? Of course not. This is called propriety. Okay? People have everybody is in some weird mind control mode of spurgatism where they don't even understand that there's propriety. Do you know what propriety is? Not everything is sin or not sin. Not everything is black and white. Propriety refers to what's appropriate at certain times and certain places. If I'm doing a comedy event and I say the word shit, it is not a big deal. And there's nothing wrong with it. And you can't show me how that's wrong. You may not like it, but where is that wrong? There's no impropriety in that venue, in that setting. Doesn't Solomon say everything in its proper place and time? There's a time for laughter. There's a time for seriousness and repentance. But all of you stupid Pharisees can't even figure this out. Why? Because of insecurities, because you're insecure and weak, and you want to erect man-made ways for you in your mind to feel superior to somebody. So you don't have the skill to, debate? You don't have the skill to do this or that? Then you're suddenly superior. That's immediately wrong. Because now debate is somehow tainted and you're better than that person. You see, so the moves are typically motivated by inferiority, insecurity, fear, and envy. And that's just the facts. Now, does that mean that I have never lost my temper in a debate and that I'm perfect? No, it has nothing to do with that. But it has to do with weird purity spiraling about what isn't even livable and possible. And so when you erect these bizarre standards as Christians, where everybody's hovering in a corner, frightened and terrified over every little thought that enters into their heart and their brain, you are creating spurgs and loons, and they will leave the religion in no time. It's not me that's creating that. I mean, I typically bitch about this. I mean, how can you live your life terrified and obsessing over every little introspective thing? How are you going to face up to the guy who walks up and wants to fight you? How are you going to stand up for your wife when somebody's trying to mess with her? Are you going to cower in the corner and cry? Probably you will. And then you can get on the internet and talk about how you're better than the debate bros, right? So the point here is that, yes, churches are full of betas and simps and weirdos. Why? Because preachers, for the most part, I'm speaking here of like the evangelical world in general, they are themselves creepy cucks, and they are businessmen. That's it. And so the motivation for business church is, how can we ensure the largest number of tithes coming in so that I don't offend people? So there's a constant watering down of just basic standards to ensure that the tithes come in. And the tithes come in probably in these evangelical churches, which are not typically peopled by a lot of toxic, strong men. They're peopled by women. So you get giant women's ministries, and women run these evangelical churches. And women run all of the classical, liberalized Protestant churches now. Women and Skittles. Do you see that this is always where the progression goes? And if you've spent, and I've spent 20 plus years in the world of evangelicalism, Catholicism, Orthodoxy, that's a commonality across all three worlds, is that the liberalism goes hand in hand with the feminism, the Skittles, and the women's ministries, and the push for ladies to run everything. And the religion becomes based around feelings. And then you get a giant horde of passive-aggressive soy males who post their prayers on Twitter and think that debating is somehow bad and evil. These are the first people who will line up to capitulate to a Muslim who threatens them in any way. Imagine these people getting a Muslim threatening to end them. I mean, they don't even have the balls to do anything. They're pathetic. So absolutely churches are full of pathetic beta simps. That is absolutely correct. No, I'm not. I'm 6'2", and if you don't know, the reason that Sam Hyde is like 6'6". Sam Hyde is like a massive, like, I don't know football terms. What's the football guy? Like the guy that, tight end? I don't know. That's like the guy that runs fast. I'm actually proud I don't know any football terms. Anyway, so business church is just a giant scam, and it's full of all of these pathetic soy people, absolutely, and it doesn't take much time to know these things. And by the way, Nick is also a gigantic dude. Nick's about probably 3 inches shorter than Sam. Sam's like 6'6". So he's a massive beast. That was the first thing I noticed when I walked in to his place. What, like, the first thing I saw when I walked in was like this gigantic dude, like in the doorway where the light's coming in behind him from the window by the street, like just this aura around this giant dude. And I'm like, whoa. Who's that guy in Game of Thrones? Not Hodor, but the Mountain. Dude, Sam Hyde is like the Mountain. Okay. And I mean, I'm not a small dude. I'm 6'1", 6'2". Anyway. Yeah, and yeah, the Mountain. That's what I'm trying to think of. Anyway. So, to make a long story short, that's it about ethics, the ethics of the event, the psychological and biological makeup of the evangelicaldom world. And what does Jesus say here when the Pharisees are debating with Jesus debated? What? I thought that was bad. I thought, debating is evil, right? That's not what Christianity is about. Christianity is about putting up your prayers on Twitter, not debating. And by the way, I get sick of debating. I'd much rather, so when I was up there with Sam Hyde, we were boxing for the first time I ever had a boxing lesson. Boxing with his trainer dude. The dude that you see when he's at the fight, the Creator Clash fight, that dude, who's also like a gigantic 6'5", 6'6" dude. And so we did like an hour of like noob boxing training which was awesome and exhausting. I was just caked in sweat. And that's what I want to do. You think I want to keep debating these awful soy beta men? Absolutely not. I'm ready for a freaking boxing match, bro. That's what I want. Now, the last two people I've asked, I felt out. They said no, right? So it's not as easy as you would think to find somebody who's an opponent. But if I do find an opponent, then I'll get more serious about, okay, 6 months to a year of actual training. But Melissa says for $25. Wow, thank you so much. Fat Super Chat, appreciate that. Thank you, Melissa. Capital J, $5. Bro, you nailed it in regard to Nala. The prodigal son was broke and starving and then came back as a servant. Yes, I think that that analysis is correct. Nala, however, has millions of dollars. You're also right. Time will tell. She was baptized a month ago. Christians sound like, oh, yes, we beat the final boss. Yeah, I mean, again, look, just like with Kanye, okay, and I'm not judging people's motives, but the point I was saying a long time ago was when you convert to these evangelical things, the people, it doesn't have staying power, right? And I don't know Kanye's motives or I don't know, but Kanye has said, if you don't know, I'm done with my Christian phase, right? So it ends up being a phase for people. It's unfortunate, but at the same time, if all you knew was like, who was that? Oh, you got to see this one. Hold on, I got a better one for you. I forgot this preacher. Check this out. The syrup preacher. I couldn't believe this. I forgot to pull this one up. Yeah, look at this. Did y'all see the syrup preacher? What? Yes. Now remember, you're not supposed to judge. You're not supposed to judge. You're supposed to be a dumb dupe, a freaking mark. I'm not supposed to judge. Jesus told me to be a mark and to give all my money to every con man I see. That's what Jesus said. I'm a mark. I'm Saint Mark. Saint Mark the dupe. And that's piety. And by the way, if you debate me, you're evil. I'm better than you. Let me put it on the internet. I'm better than you. Look. How tall? Jamie, if you don't remember, Jamie is like, remember how when we were doing streams and I only had that damn lawn chair? And Jamie was sitting on another chair that was like a foot taller. And then everybody thought I was like 4 feet tall. Until you actually go to a live event and you see, no, he's actually not 4 feet tall. By the way, our live event is coming up. I hope you're coming to our event, right? You got to come over here. We just put this up on sale. If you don't know. Where's the damn event? Live in Vegas. Home of the mobsters and the strippers. What? You're evil for going to Vegas. There's like a stripper there or something. That makes you evil. See this right here? Come to Las Vegas, boy. Or not. If you're in Las Vegas, check this out. This just went up. Live in Vegas. Jamie Kennedy. Scream. Jamie Kennedy Experiment. A very funny, awesome dude. We've hung out with him many times. This is our third event with Jamie. Guess what else? Isaac Weishaupt. Yes. Illuminati Watcher is joining us for his first live presentation and event. You can come see all of us in a 6-hour extravaganza infotainment party. And yes, our events are like parties. It's not just boring lectures. You get a 6-hour event of deep geopolitics, conspiracy, esoteric Hollywood, and stand-up comedy from the master himself, Jamie Kennedy, as well as quite a few of my own impressions. June 22nd in Las Vegas. Here's where you get your tickets. You got to be there. Now check this out. Remember, you're not supposed to judge. I didn't even realize he's talking about syrup. I was singing about syrup. Syrup God, right? That's the evangelical ooey gooey gay worship stuff, right? John 7. Jesus says, if a man receives circumcision on the Sabbath, So the law of Moses should not be broken. Are you angry with me because I made a man completely well on the Sabbath? Do not judge according to appearance, but judge with righteous judgment. How many of these idiots ever quote this verse? Never. How dare you call a person an idiot? By the way, doesn't Proverbs say to identify and avoid the fool? How can I avoid the fool if I can't identify the fool? If Proverbs says that you should recognize the fool, and if the Bible says that we should repent of our own foolishness, I have to make a judgment call about myself. That's still judging. If I say I'm a fool, that's judging. Still. Do you see how dumb this is? I'm 6'1", 6'2". In my heels, bro. How do you... You're like 4 feet tall. How do you get to 6'1"? I wear heels, duh. I'm an E-diva. I wear Gucci heels. Do not judge according to appearance, but judge with righteous judgment. So you are also commanded to judge. But I thought it said do not judge. It's a Bible contradiction. No, it means to judge appropriately. Judge with righteous judgment, not judge with a false idea of superiority. You see that both of these things are true? It's just common sense, kind of like the way that we would interpret any book, and yet people can't make these basic distinctions when they read these texts. This is bizarre. But look, check this out.
I lift my hands to give you the glory. I lift my hands to give praise, and we will praise you. It's just a temple.
Woo! Syrup. Oh, he got that scissor up. He got that guy scissor up. Look at this nonsense. What the heck is that? What's that on the wall? He's hugging another dude. What the heck is this? I've never even heard of this dude. Pastor Mike Todd. What the heck?
I don't care so much. Over the Bible, too. Yes.
So I retract my statement. Protestants don't actually have a holy book. They don't think anything's holy. This dude's pouring syrup on the Bible for his... I don't know. Maybe this is like some genius Satan conspiracy. Like the Satanists came up with a genius conspiracy to have evangelical crazy TV preachers do this kind of stuff, these stunts, right? That would actually be... that would be kind of cunning, right? That'd be like, dang, that's kind of smart, dude. That's a devilish plot right there. Having pastors pouring syrup on the Bible to make people atheists. I'm actually buying this. Dacian Blood sends $5. Jay, off topic. I don't grasp the transcendental argument. See, I'm even talking like Boston Brothers, an argument. I don't get this transcendental argument. I'm Orthodox. I don't want proof. How is it that something that exists outside of experience is necessarily a proof of God? How would I explain this to atheists? I mean, we've got 50 videos. Go to Dyer clips and look up the 4 or 5 clips that Kyle put together for the basics of tag. So that would be the best bet. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm being serious. Like go to Kyle's Dyer clips channel. Look up Transcendental Argument for Slow Boys. Watch that clip. Capital J, $5. You nailed it about Nala. Oh, wait, we already read that. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm skipping some. Big Boss sends $10. Okay. We all know that our Awesome God is the best worship song. Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above. Wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God. Is that what you're talking about? A mighty fortress is our God. It's always some fat Lutheran who's like proud that he drinks beer and smokes cigars and he thinks that that's edgy. Some fat Lutheran dude. Our God is an awesome God. Oh, remember my the first skit I ever uploaded to YouTube like a zillion years ago was Pastor Peter McWilson. That's it. But the same spirit applies to the edgy, fat Lutheran beer bro. I really like Martin Luther and IPAs. Do you like IPAs? Have you read the larger catechism? I like to drink a lot of IPAs and increase my man boob tittage, and then also read the larger catechism of Martin Luther. I hope to one day have a child who can suckle at my man boob teats, and I will have many offsprings and fulfill the dominion mandate. Also, you can't be saved by works. Jordan Cooper. Capital J. No. Melissa. No. Alfgen. What's up? As a subscriber. Justin Santa. Subscribe. Thank you guys. What's up? I don't like these worship songs are the worst. I'm going to start incorporating this into my horrible stand-up bit, where I'll just start singing evangelical praise songs, and I'm going to act like everybody's there as a praise and worship service, and I'll just say I'm an evangelical preacher.
Stop acting like you care about this. I mean, man, stop acting.
What? He just threw a bunch of pancake and syrup up there on that gay poster with him. Dude, everything's fake and gay. Oh my gosh.
Acting like this matters to you.
Damn, son, that was wild. That was strange. But remember, you can't judge him. You can't judge him. I'm going to start just asking, like, I'm going to come to all of these dumb evangelicals who say that you can't judge, and I'm going to say, give me your Bitcoin or your money, and you can't judge me. I'm going to say, I'm a con man, and I want all your money. Give all your base are belong to me. And if you don't do what I say, then you're not turning the other cheek and you're judging me. I mean, imagine how stupid this is. This is how these people think, though. Let's get back to this.
It just blows my mind. It blows my mind. My Lord.
That's something like what it's like to return home whole, and not whole. He didn't come back whole. He came back broken.
Yeah.
You know, and then he comes back to his home, you know, where he belongs, and got an amazing welcome. I'm not expecting
a delicious fatted calf. Yeah.
Yes, and I wanted that, but it did
Michael Knowles over there talking. It kind of broke. He's over there talking about dinner. He's over there talking about fatted calves. He's like, yeah, Nala, I want a bite of that fatted calf you got. Let me see your calf muscles, Nala. He's licking his lips like LL Cool J. Pea cookies in a plastic bag. Getting crushed by buildings. We were talking about that stupid song with Sam and Nick. I'd never seen the LL Cool J clip where he's at wrestling or UFC. I don't know what, and he thinks it'd be cool if he goes like this. And it looks so weird and gay. Remember that? And now I'm like, pink cookies in a plastic bag getting crushed by buildings. All right, that's some Diddy shit or something. I don't know what that is. What is that? Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above. I don't owe you. I can ascribe to who I want to. Because I subscribe to all kinds of stuff. I'm ascribed to the Vatican website. I mean, on channel on YouTube. I'm subscribed to all kinds of stuff. I'm subscribed to Vatican. Let's see. We can look over here and see. All kinds of weird stuff. I'm ascribed to Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson. Yo, you heard of Jordan? Michael Jordan Peterson? Well, you gotta dunk the ball. Michael Jordan Peterson. You gotta dunk the ball. Alula says for $5. I don't think this red-haired woman is sincere. She was calculated in her media run. Yeah, people don't understand that people with giant audiences, I don't know in regard to her, and I don't know whether she's sincere or not. It's not even necessary for me to try to figure out her motives. You see, that's all gay anyway, trying to figure out people's motives. You can't guess people's motives unless you start to see patterns which reveal motives. That's it. And by the way, why do you even care about people's motives? I'm not saying it totally doesn't matter, or else we wouldn't be covering it. It kind of matters today, but I had a point with that where I forgot where I was going. Let me see, what was the super chat? Yeah, they have a team, right? So there's like a media team, and people spitball about how to like rebrand, okay? And people that don't work or do anything in media, they don't know about people having. I don't have a media team. That's me and Jamie. But I'm saying people with giant audiences, they have a media team and PR people, and they have these things where they spitball ideas and look at it to rebrand and this kind of stuff. Okay, but normies and people, they don't have no idea about any of this, and they literally accept everything as is, right? I mean, has anything in the last 5 years presented itself as is? Very few things are as they're presented, right? Everything is basically some giant satanic psyop, for real. Like, as it's presented is totally not true. And I'm exaggerating for you spurgs who can't figure out what exaggeration hyperbole is. Jamie, could you make me a double shot, please? Thank you.
My heart a little bit. But
neither of your parents didn't know.
In fact, they're actually getting another divorce right now.
Oh, I forgot another thing. I'm sorry. And I don't know anything about her parents. Somebody said her dad was a preacher or whatever. I want to make another point about general patterns that few know. Few know. Let's see what we can pull up this probably won't even work anymore because you basically can't search anything. Nothing comes up anymore. Evangelical mega church money laundering. Let's see what we get about that. Yes. Oh, Texas megachurch pastor sent to prison for money laundering fraud scheme. Megachurch Hillsong accused of money laundering. What? Nuh-uh. You guys are so naive. Not my audience. We over here with the, genius IQ where we're freaking weirdos. The IQs of my audience are, you guys are literally riding around like a Muppet Stephen Hawkins, right? You're a little Muppet Stephen Hawkins, and I know it doesn't have an S on it, but it's still fun to say Stephen Hawkins. Y'all, my audience is literally a Muppet Stephen Hawkins right now. You're figuring out the algorithms to detect mega church money laundering fraud. But remember, not everybody else is that smart, y'all. I think Ye was sincere, but he had too many people in his ear saying a bunch of stuff. And if they don't become orthodox, I don't trust them. Yeah, typically I think what happens is that it's just... if this is what was your experience with Christianity, you thought it was this. And then it's like a giant money laundering front. Megachurch pastor indicted for fraud. Megachurch pastor stole $8 million. Megachurch pastor defrauded elderly. Dude, there's more of these than I expected. Megachurch pastors caught money laundering. Wire fraud. Kirby and Caldwell. On and on and on. Nicaragua convicts 11 megachurch pastor fraud. Oh, they trying to persecute the real Christians, dude. They're persecuting them. What? Surely this can't be right. Money found inside the megachurch wall? What? Somebody stole it and put it in a church wall. That's creative, dude. That's some damn Barry Seal shit right there. Okay, so there you go. There's one example of that. Not one. A bunch of examples of one search phrase. Let's see. Now, this is also partly why Russia bans these churches. Here's a government paper about Evangelical National Endowment for Humanities. That might be that's some NGO. Missionaries who spied for the U.S., double-crossed, spies in the church, Washington Post. So some of this you see is tied to this kind of stuff, as we talked about for frickin' 15 years. When the shepherds spy on the sheep. Now, everybody knows this about Russia, right? Everybody says, oh, Russia's a bunch of KGB church. Oh, Russia's KGB church, not America's CIA spied on church, right? That never happens. IDK says stop. Stop what? You don't want me talking about mainstream news stories about churches being involved in espionage? Now, in Russia, evangelical churches and cults like Jehovah's Witnesses and Scientology are banned precisely because they're tools of espionage. Do you see my point? Now, you say, wait a minute. That don't mean nothing to nobody except to you, conspiracy theory. Attack of the Cults, classic article by Mark Hackard. And we find out that a gigantic megachurch from Nigeria, Pastor Sunday Adelaya. Oh, it just turns out to be a Clinton Global Initiative front to push the CIA's agenda in the Ukraine. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're a conspiracy theorist. Classic article that we have been talking about for, what, almost 10 years? When did Mark write this article? Or he translated, excuse me. 2015. 9 years we've been talking about this article. The Pentecostal charismatic cover that the intelligence agencies have used in the Ukraine. And this is just one of them. Sunday Adelaja is a famous Nigerian scammer man. That's the dude sending you all the damn emails. By the way, if you want to collect that money from that Nigerian prince, this is him, bro. This is him. Sunday Adelaja. Did you get my email? Give Prince Adelaja $10,000. I will give you back $20 million in 5 years. Why are you gay, by the way? So he ran a giant cult. Yushchenko's wife, former wife, Catherine Chumachenko, she was in a giant cult called the Native Ukrainian National Faith. These are forms of soft power in the Ukraine. As an example, Sun Young Moon, CIA cult. You didn't know that? Mormons, typically, are used by the CIA. You didn't know that? That's like basics. Anyway. I wanted to remind you of that, not because I know or think that you're saying Nala is a CIA operative. No, I'm not saying that. You're saying Taylor Swift is a CIA operative. No, I'm not saying that. Never said that. But NATO did say that they would like to use her for psyops. And the point is that giant mega churches, there's never all you people want to talk about. No, judge them by their fruit. Judge them by their fruit. I thought you can't judge. You don't judge them. You know them by their fruit. Know them by their fruit. Okay, you know them by their fruit. So what's the fruit of mega churches? Scams, cons, people leaving, scandals, on and on and on. Way worse than most other places. Okay, so not saying that there aren't crooked people in Orthodoxy, scammers. There's scammers and crooked people everywhere, sure. But this domain is different because it's much easier in these how should we characterize this? Low requirement communities. Like basically there's no requirement at all to be a minister, pastor, no qualifications, no training needed. You a hoe one day, you a dang woman's minister preacher the next day. That's that game. That's that hustle, right? Is this clip not working?
I know a lot of parents that got divorced, Michael. I know a lot because it's real common. Guess what? None of their kids did corn. None of them. None. It's a character flaw.
Oh, man, that's brutal.
Yeah, but it's okay, you know? It's okay.
Yeah, and God's overarching providence, all things will be turned to good. Doesn't make it any more pleasant at the time.
It doesn't, but this is human feeling, you know, and we all experience things, and honestly, I'm thankful for the feeling. You know, I'm thankful to be able to.
Right, so it's not that I have a low FPS camera. I've had the internet people out here like 10 times, and there's nothing that they can do in this area for the Comcast connection. So I have to run the live streams on the lower broadband because it's not upgraded yet, even though there's technically 5G and quote 6G. Nothing actually runs that yet. So what do you want me to do? Have you ever tried to work with these giant internet companies? I mean, I've even had them out here to try to install the fiber, and they won't do it. So, like, there's literally nothing else other than I could just move. It's like, why don't you just move? Why don't you move? Actually, if this grows big enough, I'll move to a business place, and I'll have an actual studio. So, if you guys want to support the work, and I can move to like a business location one day or something, okay. And you can start sending me them super chats right now, boy. Throw me a super chat and I'll put it into the rent a building where there's fiber internet. How's that right there? It's not Spectrum. Guys, look, I know we're having fun with these redheaded chicks, but I got to remind you that we do have a sponsor. Did you know that? We got an awesome sponsor. Our sponsor is an awesome sponsor. It's great. It gives you giant balls and it gives you power of masculinity. Yeah, our sponsor is chalk.com.
I'm going to put you on something crazy real quick. Most of these Zoomer gym bros are consuming macro-guzzling synthetic dyes and synthetic sweeteners on the daily. They don't even know it. Goofy AF. There's nothing great about that. Do not listen any further unless you are an alpha or sigma male. This is important and there could be consequences. There's a new certified sigma male pre-workout powder for sigmas only. It is guaranteed to empower you to dominate your co-workers, fire your boss, aggressively gamble, or invade a small village. Chad Mode stands out from the crowd by excluding artificial flavors, preservatives, sweeteners, and dyes. We've even avoided so-called natural flavors, which are actually not natural at all, ensuring a clean and effective formula. Experience the pure goodness of Chad Mode, colored with organic blue spirulina extract, organic lemon, cherry, and organic maple crystals. Forget synthetic caffeine made in a sketchy Chinese lab. Embrace the natural power of organic green coffee bean extract, which will get your mind going and pump you up to the max. Chad Mode is made in America with all clean ingredients, the first clean pre-workout of its kind. Why are these people adding synthetic sweeteners to every single pre-workout when there are many studied downsides to consuming nasty fake sucralose? Each dose of Chad Mode contains the kick of a cup and a half of coffee, delivering a surge of energy alongside essential vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and herbal extracts. Chad Mode will allow you to fire your boss and dominate anyone who opposes you. Chad Mode will make you more dominant in your daily life, so proceed with caution. It's as simple as mixing 1 or 2 scoops of our fine powder into water or juice, providing you with a delicious, energizing beverage featuring a burst of sweet organic fruit flavor. Chad Mode will give you the extra edge you desperately crave. Don't miss out, secure your supply of Chad mode on TikTok Shop with a limited time massive discount. Elevate your workouts and supercharge your days. Chad mode, not for your average gym bro zoomer who consumes synthetic blue dyes on the daily. Buy on the TikTok Shop now with a massive discount provided by TikTok for a very limited time. Buy now while this is still available, or go to chalk.com and use code in caption. Chad mode has been flying off the shelves because it's the first of its kind, certified for alpha males only. Do not buy if you are a beta. We will refund your money. I'm gonna put you on something crazy real quick. Most of these Zoomer gym bros are consuming macro-guzzling synthetic dyes and synthetic sweeteners on the daily. They don't even know it. Goofy AF. There's nothing great about...
show off something that we're all proud of. I got a browser here. This is Jay Dyer's much vaunted, much sought after Philosophy 101. Now, he just got this page up. We are just testing it out. You guys are some of the first people in the world to see it. I want to say, for my part, it's not Philosophy 101. I think this is a mistitling. I really think of it as like Philosophy Unleashed, because a Philosophy 101 course, they give you kind of some useless information that you can't make sense of. Jay actually lays out over 12 weeks, dozens and dozens of hours put into just the presentation of this, let alone the hundreds and thousands of hours of research that it takes to have a coherent evolution and history of the origins of philosophy, the uses of philosophy, the different ways to look at it over time, and how that has been brought about to what we have today, which is almost an absence of philosophy on the objective logic and reason side, and an overabundance of woke philosophy that is irrational and is made up day by day as people are like, I think we should bring racism back, and then here's a justification, and then it gets wokeified and spread out, and then all of a sudden you have a bunch of communist, socialist ideas where you become the property in action. You need to be able to stand your own ground. It helps to have a foundation in philosophy because it's a method to find truth. When you get down to it, philosophy is there because you love truth enough to go and learn how to find it because it's valuable. So if you're interested in things like that, there is the landing page. We'll link it up in the notes. It is a longer one, so we'll get a shorter URL for this. I'm sure Jay has a link on his page. I just wanted to show it off. Now you know it exists. You can go look for it and see why this is not.
All right, we are back. I don't know if there's much more to say on this because that's pretty much all there is to say on this. I didn't see this until the other day, which I thought was pretty cool.
And she was into scat.
Just another scheme. I am now the alpha, and the alpha doesn't have to listen.
The one place where like a loser white man on his way out can find salvation, and like this seeping into makes me hate.
Shh. We shall take away your rails, he said, and built a wall in front of him so that Henry couldn't get out of the tunnel anymore.
Communism is not the answer. If you have nothing to offer, the first thing you're going to want to do is destroy the system that puts a numerical valuation on people based on their usefulness. When the narrative started to unravel,
yes.
Stephen Colbert came out with this in this country.
So this is just a clip I saw today that was pretty cool. Shout out.
We all drank poison, and it felt good. These people that want to feel like they know everything, the vengeful thoughts that people have. I would never put kids on film like that. This is like, well, speaking to Jay Dyer, this is like the vision that the WEF has for us in the future. See, I'm in this hole. I'm in my little cubicle. I have space to move around. I can go from left to right. I don't know if you can see that on the screen.
Welcome to
I'm
the
not hungry,
Pod.
and my health is good. And they're scanning.
Welcome to the Pod. You will eat the bugs and die.
To make sure.
It is daytime.
I don't think I would disagree with this guy. My hunch is that.
Now, to our point today, this is a better clip in regard to today's topic. I'm not saying that that clip is good, but this is a better clip in regard to today's topic of avoiding nasty, destructive males. Because in a lot of these churches, especially these mega churches, non-denominational churches, you will find these destructive beta males. Now, there's areas where I disagree with some of the red pill people, and we've talked about that. We've done already, I think, 4 or 5 streams about the areas where I agree and disagree. One area that they do get correct, though, is that speaking in the majority, the churches are part of the problem. And that's just the facts, Jack. Facts and logic. The facts and logic says that the churches are part of the problem. So, example, tradcons fail to recognize that their churches typically are full of betas, simps, and enable the rule of women and feminism that they supposedly oppose. Churches are full of betas and simps run by women. So, ironically, churches could learn from Sam Hyde, of all people, about who shouldn't be in the churches. Because the beta males in the churches, the soy men, are the equivalent, the male equivalents of the ladies. Except the ladies even have, they're leaning in harder than the soy men. The soy men are letting the slave queens run stuff. Isn't that weird? I hope that was a skit, but I'm afraid it was a real dude freaking out because some chick chose not this guy. Okay, so look at this, the sad state of affairs with this dude. With some chick that was probably just disgusted by his like beta male to the little number up to the top of it. Beta male to the whatever degree. I mean, watch this dude raging. This is crazy. Oh my gosh. Please tell me that's somebody's freaking skit, dude. If that's a skit, that's a genius, like, acting performance. But I'm just afraid it's not. I'm afraid that there's some dude that actually thinks that screaming at some chick about how we can't just be friends. You got to choose me or him. I know it's going to be him. That's the worship leader at that first church. Right, he's screaming. Remember that chick that was dancing in her pajamas at church? This is her boyfriend.
These sensitive men.
I gotta watch this one more time. You aren't gonna let. You aren't gonna let me be your friend. This is why that chick was dancing at church, trying to get that fat black dude from the bass team to join her on a date.
These sensitive men are dangerous.
What? What does anybody know what that's from? That's crazy, dude. This is the average worship leader. That's the average church boy right there, dude. I mean, I hope the Muslims don't see this. The Islam will see this and be like, they are ripe. We must invade now. Now is the time. 111 equals soy.
Pestering, guilt, like texting 1,000 times. They like basically guilt women into sex. Their whole mating strategy is to come off as unthreatening. Person that's of a man's age but is mentally a child. That he has a tattoo that says prisoner of love. If this is you, fix it. Fasting, carnivore diet, fix your T levels, start lifting, read That Way of the Superior Man, read A Fire.
Tomcat Ali, boost testosterone.
The belly. I need better help. BetterHelp.com/Jack. I'm Kitty Cat Man. What these guys are capable of, unbelievable.
She decided to kill her 3-year-old child.
They'll fold on you. They'll gossip, and the way that they maneuver through life are dark, and they have dark souls. Can you imagine writing something like that to your child?
No, never.
This is some dark shit right here.
I'm talking about morally dark. Ugh. Now I got juicing chicks in my face. Get out of my face.
It's actually unbelievable.
Feminize themselves to try to get closer.
Beta, like men like this, like sensitive beta males, the way they get is they get a feminine way. Yeah. It's really up.
I've seen instances of that many times.
I went to college at a normal age, and there was a kid there who was like 27. Like he went to college 4 years, and he was all into that traveling stuff. And at the end of it, he developed a man crush on this other kid who was like the cutest guy. This energy right here. You know guys like this?
Yeah.
Where it's like older guy.
Probably talking about me. I'm an E-diva, so I was at least the cutest, perhaps third cutest in my class. So this might be a reference to me. I'm not sure.
I will look at this kid and develop a non-sexual crush because this kid represents the innocence that you lost or whatever. Like I could have been golden like Pony Boy was if only I had been back then. If only I. That's the type of thinking that you get into. There was this guy at school who was such a weirdo, and he made this like crying love letter thing for the local Pony Boy lookalike.
This is a message to the church boys.
That kid was a traveler.
I'm trying to tell the church boys something. So the church boys got more of a problem than their theology. Okay, the theology is not the main problem. There's more basic problems. Low T, overweight, bad diet, no drive. And I'm not talking about boomer shit like they don't want to work. That's not what I'm talking about.
It was like, I'm just a weary traveler looking for my way in the world, man. When I've encountered guys like this who are like, even the slightest bit of commentary about your feelings. I think Shane Gillis says this. If you talk about your feelings as a man, you're gay.
It sounds like something you would say.
It's 100% true. Like if I ever see a guy.
Is this not applicable to every passive-aggressive soy church boy? Like, it's all about their feelings. And by the way, the whole evangelical service is arranged around how you feel. Jesus makes me feel good like syrup coming out of my heart and into my veins like some kind of heroin drug that I worship. That's my thought of myself.
I like this, Chris.
I can't even make a scowl like that.
My whole steez is about being resolute and suffering through to get the right thing made or accomplished.
It would be pretty funny after all this time if Hassan comes out as gender fluid.
No, he wouldn't. He's a Chad. He's just in this for. I'm pretty cynical.
He's probably getting it.
I'm pretty cynical about his motivations. I think he's just after, which is, fair enough. It's all good. He's gonna pay me a price though. Aside from being politically delusional, he's pretty Chad-like. His early stuff. You remember what was the stuff Hassan used to make? It was like Bro Academy or something. Bro Tips. This stuff was pretty funny. I just gotta lump his head up real quick. Oh, dude, this guy's the most. This is the lowest testosterone. Who are these dysgenic losers? These people should not have made it to this phase here. Sickening. Look at how vitamin D depraved. Look how pale his skin is.
Remember I did a skit about these kind of dudes where I was a juicer? Remember when juicing was a big deal like 6 years ago? I did a juicing skit based on these kind of dudes.
Like that sort of like thin skin where you can see the veins in the skull underneath. Yeah. I'm surprised his head isn't cracked in from the pressure of those headphones. I'm certain that Sniper Wolf is like a mentally damaged freak that you don't want on your case. Yeah. I'm certain that that's the case. Like one of these girls that just has nothing but, like one of those girls where a switch flips and they decide they're going to make you their little project and hound you and make your life hell. I'm sure she's like that. What I'm saying is, look at this guy. This guy's head should be pulp. from his own headphones, crushing his head in. She got you, fool. She got you, sucker.
In my whole
I need to find that juicing guy skit that I uploaded. Deuce Juicer, remember that? And he was making garbage juice smoothies. It's these type of dudes, like these vegan influencer dudes, which have contributed to an entire generation of evangelical church boys. Church boys. Church.
This is behavior. Weak, effeminate. Listen to the language he's using. I've been on YouTube for 16 years. I've never once been treated this badly. And you haven't been saying the right things.
Yeah, we've done.
I didn't do exactly what you said. I've just been being an annoying snitch.
We've done multiple streams where we theorized about what is behind soy face. And there's a lot of actually competing theories that I think probably are all in some degree true. So you'll see that sometimes the soy face is explained as a biological monkey-like reaction to where when a chimp sees or experiences somebody more Chad than them, or like, you know, an alpha, they do that to signify like, you know, lesser status, that they're not a threat. That seems plausible to me. That's the soy face. Is there a spiritual element to it? I kind of think there might be, right? Because, and then there's nothing more soy than the evangelical men. I mean, they're like, dude, none of those dudes are straight. Let's see. No, wait. Is there a spiritual component? Possibly. Because one of the patterns that seems to pop up is that these people are typically like city men, liberals. It's like city libs, bugmen type stuff. They're always touting themselves as feminists and liberals. And so there's a lot of parallels with these people, the inner sort of soy rage they have. But could there be something spiritual? Because I started thinking about this face and why they're always into toys. They're always into like Funko Pops, right? This is part of the reason we've been just going after Funko Pops for so many years. It's all part of like the same cult or something. I don't know. It's like a weird spirit. They're taking of a spirit somehow. That's what I'm trying to say. Right? So I started thinking, well, what do they look like? I mean, this is my wild speculation. I'm not actually saying that this is the case, but I started thinking, do they look like a clown? They look like a clown demon has possessed them. I don't actually think there's a clown demon, but I'm saying that, like, if there's some sort of archetypal spirit that you can partake of. And again, all the patterns are always there. They're super passive aggressive. They are really emotional. They'll have rage meltdowns. A lot of times they'll do it online too. And by rage meltdown, I don't mean getting angry or having a debate. I'm talking about like a collapse, like a mental meltdown. They're really into all the consumer products. They have their favorite cereals, Funko Pops, Marvel, comic books, neoteny. This is another thing, right? You know what neoteny is, which is like always reverting to childlike stuff, never growing out of a child phase. So it's more than just arrested development. It's like specifically childlike stuff. What else characterizes these? IPAs. They're related to IPAs, and that which grows their man boobs. But like, I don't know. My thought was, they look like It, dude. Remember It, the clown? It's like some kind of crazy clown is possessing them, right? You look up clowns. Look at that, dude. Tell me that's not the soy demon right there. This is what's really going on. That's the real soul right there. That's the soul of a bug man right there. A soy man. That's his real soul. Right? So it's like, what's that 80s clown name? This guy? I used to hate that show. What's his name? He's like the most famous 80s clown, right? This is Soy Face right here. But this is what's really going on. That's the real Soy Face. What's his name? The famous clown from the 80s. Had that stupid TV show. Anyway. What do you mean neoteny is different? That's not different. Let's look up. Remember Kotel did a whole stream on it, remember? Retention of juvenile features into an adult state. The slowing of the physical bodily development of an organism. So this is talking about in biology, but I'm talking about the way that this is used to describe humans. Retention of juvenile traits. So what are you talking about? I don't know. That's not right. It is right. What are you talking about? Bozo. That's what I couldn't think of. Bozo. Dude, you're possessed by Bozo. You're a clown, dude. Maybe when It came out, because remember It's like some kind of weird demon, right? Maybe when It came out, Steve King opened up the portal, the CERN portal, and It stepped through, and he possessed all these men. Is that what it is?
Yes. This guy is the worst. This guy's the worst. Look at his face. Look at that. Look at that. His. Their whole mating strategy is to come off as unthreatening. You know the type of guy that I'm talking about.
Yes.
Like their whole shtick is being unthreatening. What these guys are capable of is unbelievable. Girls have it worse. I really think that's true. I think girls have it worse. Okay, these guys who would basically be if they had the balls to be, they would do it. Yeah. But they're just too scared to commit to the bit. Look at that face, man. That looks like the guy. Do you remember Swirly Face? Tourist who went to Thailand and he concealed his identity by using the Photoshop swirl filter on his face, and the police just unswirled it.
Oh man.
Yeah. It looks like this guy. And I'm not saying this is not something I'm saying lightly. I think these people are low. I think they're fucking dirt. These motherfuckers are dark, and they have dark souls. And
These are the church boys. You see, this is the same spirit, same vibe, dude.
They're just like it's a person that's of a man's age, but is mentally a child, or like emotionally a child. Yeah. It's like the nastiest
neoteny
thing you could imagine seeing. He's all smiles. He's all funny little jokes. He's joking around like he's in a commercial. I guarantee you that guy would somebody if he had the opportunity. Be aware of the fact that everything that they do is designed to filter out losers and trick winners into thinking that they're the best bet. A man is a ship that is out to sea. The sea is the chaos. The sea is the world. This is why women test you, is because women are like the ocean. Their job is to give you these tests to make sure that you are aloof, sealed off enough that these...
Yes. Dudes. This is male-female interactions 101. If you don't learn this, you'll never get a girlfriend, and you'll be destroyed by women your whole life.
The dangerous, scary, chaotic, uncertain world around you won't faze you. That's why women test, essentially. To check and make sure that your ship, that your manhood is steadfast, that you keep charging on. women are not evil. I think women get it much worse too. I think the guys, a low test beta male guy begging for pussy, it's nasty. Okay, so when I talk trash about women, I gotta give it to them. I think they got it worse, at least in this area.
For everyone.
Of course, he's sponsored by BetterHelp.
For business owners, that
You need to call BetterHelp.
Yeah, again, this is the basics. Like, if guys can't learn this, who cares about all your theology nonsense? You can't even be a basic dude. And why would anybody want to join your religion when you can't even match up to basic biology and be a dude?
They helped me out big time. I really needed their help. I need better help. Call them for a 10% discount. BetterHelp.com/Jack. You know who I'm sponsored by?
CyberGhosts.
Loot Crate. Can you imagine being sponsored by BetterHelp? These beta males, get them out of your circle, man. They're dangerous. These are dangerous people.
Here we go.
They'll on you. They'll gossip, and the way that they maneuver through
This
life
is the key
is
point here of who you surround yourself with, who you're allowed to be influenced by. And if you do begin to have some influence, run a business, etc., you're going to encounter these kinds of people. And this is what you need to learn to move on to the next level of success in your life.
.com/Jack. You know who I'm sponsored by?
CyberGhosts.
Loot Crate. Can you imagine being sponsored by BetterHelp? These beta males, get them out of your circle, man. They're dangerous. These are dangerous people. They'll fold on you. They'll gossip, and the way that they maneuver through life is in a feminine way it's gonna fuck up your shit somehow.
Have you seen the video of Twitch streamer getting caught live watching deepfake cold?
All right, so that's the essence of that video that I wanted to share with you. Dude basics. So here we got people bitching in the chat. Look, use this opportunity to figure out ways to better yourself instead of bitching in the chat about whatever you're bitching about. There's the video if you want to watch the rest of that video. But let's see. Do we want to talk about? I was going to talk about gurus, and if you notice the pattern of gurus, it's like money gurus, like the finance bros. Everybody can watch a finance scammer type of person and figure out, oh man, that dude's so scammy. But then when they go to the religious world, the evangelical world, it's like suddenly the blinders are on and they can't recognize it's the exact same dude as like the finance dude, the side hustle dude, with a Bible in a church. I mean, it's like, can you not tell the difference? I mean, can you not tell that there's no difference? Let's see. This is a really long video, so I'm not going to play that. Gnome Hyperborea is appropriate.
But you only need the light when it's burning low. All you need is the sun when it starts to snow.
Anyway, I don't even know why I played that. Just no reason at all. Kotesh $1. Would you debate a Greek YouTuber called Lotov? Sounds like some kind of a villain. He's a hardcore atheist. He's been disrespecting Christianity. He says he's a debater. He makes surface level debates. I would love for you to debate him. I will not debate anyone on a public forum who has a small audience, no history of debates, no training, no credibility, no books. So probably not. And I'm ready to box somebody. I'm tired of all this soy energy debating with Suds. I'm ready to have like a debate. I mean like a box. How about let me box Destiny. I can guarantee I'll win that one. I'm trying to figure out if there's something else I was going to mention. Oh, so tonight, I still want to do the stream later. I've got all my notes on 3 of the 4 movies, so I got to watch one more movie to do the Mossad stream. What? How are you going to do that? Did you know there's a whole subgenre of spy movies about Mossad? So tonight we're going to do a Mossad movie stream. Nothing dangerous there. These movies exist. I didn't make these movies. I'm not conspiracy theorizing about the movies that exist. They just are. So am I not allowed to talk about a movie that exists? I didn't make that movie. I didn't make 4 movies. So we're going to be talking about this unique subgenre of the spy world, which is fascinating. There's actually 2 of them that are really good. 2 of them mid, not so good. 2 of them really good. So we'll be talking about that tonight. I think I have enough energy to do another live stream. It'll be a much more serious, focused stream about those 4 films. The real geopolitical struggle, very relevant too because of the tensions in terms of Israel, Palestine, Iran. Those tensions are popping off right now, which is crazy. But the reason that I thought that those movies would be very relevant is that 2 of those movies have plots about Israel and Iran, and the other one about Israel and Fatah, which is PLO. So if you haven't seen Le Carre's Drummer Girl with Michael Shannon, Florence Pugh, and Skarsgård, that's a really good series. Very relevant to the material that we've covered too here for a long time. So I'm going to try to do that stream tonight as well. If you would hit like and share, and also remember to head on over to Get Lore Coffee to support FDA. You can support him as well as me in the show description. Hopefully everybody had fun today, laughing and kind of giggling at a lot of silly stuff going on. Hopefully there was some positive points made. We got to get back to some of the basics, right? I mean, if we're talking about all this highfalutin theology stuff, and like people don't even go to the gym, right? I mean, it's like everything's out of whack, everything's backwards. I've been talking about too much highfalutin stuff and no practical stuff. So maybe we need to balance this out with more practical stuff. Remember to get tickets to the Vegas show, June 22nd in Vegas, with Jamie Kennedy and Isaac Weishaupt, Illuminati Watcher. It's going to be an awesome 6-hour event. Remember to head on over to chalk.com, use promo code J50, get 50% off all those excellent products. And then I will try to see you later tonight for my Mossad movie streams.